I wanna choice ragama how to like anu gomeja ane aga ini mremi mo kadra ana ampu jami kira AIDS ka HIV ana ampu jwa opro nyampa wala ana ampu jwa ayo nan mo kadra ini mremi mo grawa nan mo kadra mi kira cross checks na makana men's health educator ko manja watanam aka istanam region galaga anu gomeja ane apa kama kenama ana ampu jami kira AIDS ka HIV ana mampu jwa opro nyampa aka aku tanga akatino baka ka pora namana ala kan bija ay ngatar pa kamu ayo nan mo katara kama kanama ananga ampujo nakam mo katara kinem gram ngorawa nanan biga rosa men's health educator anmija eastern area naga ras kampa kinem gram ngorawa.
Thank you, Joes. Yeah, as Joes said, my name's Ross. We work at the health department with disease control, and some things have been happening in the Darwin region that have alarmed us. Just recently, a man originally from Western Australia who was HIV positive and knew his status was released from prison. He moved to the Darwin region, has been living in the long grass, and has been having unprotected sex, as an unsafe sex with no condoms, with a few different female partners. Already we have 2 of these partners, females, who are now positive to HIV. One of these ladies has given us 2 names of men that she has had unsafe sex with, and 2 of those men were then found to be positive for HIV. One of those men has already died. There's been a total now of 12 people that are possibly infected with this virus. This virus is very dangerous. We have no medication to cure this virus, and if it comes into our East Arnhem Land region, we fear for what may happen. One of these contacts of this man is said to be a woman from Arnhem Land. We do not know her name or the community which she lives in. She may already be back in Arnhem Land. We're not sure. So as you can see, it's a big problem that we're looking into, and we're just hoping that people will be aware of this, take notice, and that if they are going to have sex with multiple partners or partners other than their husbands or wife, then please use condoms. Thank you, Joes.
Kaya ni punya guna mo rosa akan na bina AIDS ka HIV langan yang guna ma ya ni bina ano maja nela barangan wasu Australia langan yeta ma che langa tauna pia Amamalyuma long cross mete pia yeta mo Amamalyuma utanga ge awutnya an maja nomnya mangaya pi agna no ka Amamalyuma ngala kono pi ngola nga utanga ge ya ani ga yeta mo long cross mete pi worongonya pa rama gorama katara ni yeta ma Amamalyuma no cross ge pi ni jam nanu kalau pani cunga kan nga ampu jwa ana cunga aja nuli apa na kan ni pa pat maning bala akya nang bala kamur mo maning bala ngamaja na kan na maja ka wala ngutar nga kya yanang bala ngapla nang lakana ngala kana ngutar nga kya e bara aramana mungkuro kana maja ima ka jan ngurla wana maja na tawna no Amamalyuma aklong cross mita win kala ka jang ko nga ako lang family business. Ikaw man kalaga ja health center wa for checkup. Laka miya kaya ni minata. Aka kana ambulwa ikan ro pagina ta. Miyar mite. Anong ko lang uri kay ikaw makana ang kulawan mo ja family. Ana ambulwa. Miya na araw mo na mo yalga jan tawon wa. Araw ra jena. Ako dar dong kurang araw ambulwa dar na ako lang ako lang laka tatingarik miya ako lang husband halarat nama boyfriend girlfriend aka ako gen ma alaga nanga ambulya ta AIDS ta aka na ambulya abada ambulya onye ba ako jara koma aka na nga rumah kata gitu iman cipta nama kampai arama kana ma ira yang klinik wa kalau tes data aka ako check up anu ko me betara ngia ayam people beta anu ko wa ari kita nama or yil ka jama ai ma kana ai kita baca mangin nama check anu AIDS HIV ka ako lang like a sexually transmitted disease ya kana ma thank you
Very often, not sweating so much.
I want to Joas. Nanta pajama nan makatra Ayakwa akan ng HIV da AIDS. So karena majagir naman an video karari meda. Agi kaman ng lawan naman. Ano community. Naka Ross Jackson. Ross, I'd like to ask you a question. In regard of HIV and AIDS. What is HIV and AIDS?
Good question, Joaz. A lot of people get HIV and AIDS confused. HIV is the name we give to the virus. Its long name is human immunodeficiency virus. We call it HIV. It is a virus that infects our body. It affects our defense system, our immune system, which then makes our body weak in able to get other infections that we might normally fight. When we get certain sicknesses, when we have this virus in our body, we then say that the person has AIDS. Already, some 25 million people throughout the world have died from AIDS. You may have heard about being a problem in Africa and Asia, but it is a problem here in Australia and our nearest neighbours in South Pacific and Papua New Guinea. And we are desperately trying to stop this virus from coming into the Arnhem Land area.
How do we get AIDS or HIV? How?
Okay. The virus is transmitted three ways. It is transmitted through unsafe sex with bodily fluids, both men's and women's. It is passed on through blood, so any sharing of needles or blades, that sort of thing. And it's also passed on from mother to baby while the baby's still in the mother's belly.
Can anyone get AIDS?
The HIV virus doesn't discriminate against anybody, Joaz. It doesn't care whether you're male, female, religious, non-religious, Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal. It has no barriers. It just doesn't care. Anybody who does these activities that can help the virus get into their body are prone to it.
With a pregnant mother, if the mother carry the virus, can she pass it on to a newborn baby?
Yes, the newborn baby this virus can be passed to the baby from the mother while it's still in her belly. It's important that any woman who is pregnant, as part of their antenatal screening, they're tested for HIV. There are medications that can be given to the mother while she's pregnant that will reduce the chances of that baby being born positive for HIV.
And how do we stop people getting AIDS? And what is the best thing to do? Like, how do you do it? Like,
Okay. Best way of preventing from getting this HIV virus is, if you're a married man or woman, to stick to your husband or wife only and don't have extra partners for sex. If you're a single man or woman and want to have more than one or two boyfriends or girlfriends, then to use condoms and have safe sex or safer sex. Don't share needles for people who are injecting drugs. Don't share razor blades, toothbrushes, anything that can pierce the body and make it bleed. And cut.
Ross, if someone wants a test for HIV, AIDS, and like other sexually infected diseases, how do the health staff help the person?
Okay, testing for HIV is as simple as coming to the clinic, talking with your local health professional, be it a health worker, registered nurse doctor. It is a blood test. It often takes about 2 weeks for the result to come back. It is a very confidential test. In all the clinics throughout East Arnhem Land, we code these bloods so that no names are put on the tubes, so that nobody knows whose blood it belongs to except the person taking the blood. The HIV/AIDS story is told to that person, explained to them. There is what we call a window period, where if somebody has had unsafe sex or put themselves at risk of contracting the virus, then we ask them to come back in 3 months' time after their first test. When that result has come back, it is sent to the clinic that it was taken from, and as I said, it's confidential. The person who then took that test gets that result, unless, however, there was a positive test, which would then go to the Chief Medical Officer in Darwin, in Northern Territory, and to the medical officer responsible for that clinic or area.
Ross, how would you know if you have this virus?
Okay, Joaz, people can have this virus and not know it for years. Some people do get what's called a seroconversion illness, where they might get a mild sickness like a flu type sickness. They might be hot for a day or two. Other people never get this kind of sickness and just don't know. That's why we encourage people who are at risk of contracting the virus to come and see a health professional, get a blood test. The blood test is the only way we can confirm that, yes, this virus is in that person's body. But often people can live with the virus for many years and not be ill, and then suddenly they come down with these illnesses that then define them as having AIDS, and once they develop AIDS, they often get sick very quickly and can die very quickly from it.
Ngayon ka na? Di ba Ross, kaya nga niyang bunama hamakadrama? Karena maganda ni bina akan ampu jua. Aka important na Amamalyuma ja. Kiri bina kapara na bina ampu jua laka gonorrhea or syphilis. Bina mara ngulang maja laka orawa. Agni very important. Ibang buta kana ampu jua nika kapara maja laka AIDS or HIV. Agana kapara maja ma laka kamam. Kopara na wanya wara ngulang mapori. Inara ngulang nga anmuta mora wara aja na mau megia. Aja pa agana James kata awerona aja warona. Iya wara wana kajarat maja anda pa aku juga manta. But anma kaja na mana ana nang ampu jua. Ebniang penatun pa ya. Akanan makatera rosa niang punuma. So important Amamalyuma lagi kerja out or young people kerja like out ang ada ba kondom mana kan ele imagine na mo kondom wil kerja orang mana klinik manja aga recreation center manja aw yang di rok mana kondom so ara ma kerja mana ara ma video Iya ngira aja. Menara apa nih aku? Thank you.
Thank you, Joaz. Thank you, Ross. This has been a production on behalf of the Anindilyakwa Health Centre.
It is negative, and that we do need to repeat the test in 3 months' time to get a truer picture.
So you're saying have a blood test first, then have another one in 3 months? Or?
That's right, Joaz. That's the best way to find out, to make sure that the virus hasn't been passed on. As I said, you could have had unsafe sex a couple of weeks ago. The virus has not affected the body as such, and we call that a seroconversion, where usually the person experiences a mild illness. So we do ask for another blood test 3 months from the first.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joaz.
Thanks, Joaz and Ross, for talking about the HIV story. We hope that Anindilyakwa people will listen carefully to the HIV story, and if you're concerned, come to the health centre, ask some of the health staff, either when they're at the centre or in the community. The HIV story is a very important story for everybody to learn. Tell your kids, especially your teenage kids who are entering adult life. Share the story with your family, not only from Groote Eylandt, but from East Arnhem as well, and elsewhere in Australia. Thank you, guys.
Be strong, be healthy. Thank you, Joyce.